folks. Welcome back to Popcorn for Dinner. This is Jeff.
And Kelly.
This is our third show in October. And so keeping with this sort of horror movie theme, we're going to play a little game. Basically sort of a would you rather, but with horror movie stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Different scenarios.
And monsters and kidnappers and all that kind of, whatever.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Whatever springs to mind. So I know that you mentioned one right off the bat, like when the idea struck you.
Yeah. Would you rather be plopped into the universe of A Quiet Place or The Mist? Both have very definitive universes.
Right.
And rules of how the monsters work. So you have to figure out which rules would you rather work within.
I mean, just personally, just based on difficulty level, I would have to pick The Mist. As much as it would suck to have mist everywhere and have your sort of vision impaired, the idea of being you can't make a fucking noise is just too much. Too much even from accidental standards. You know what I mean? Because it's I can try to keep myself quiet.
Yeah.
But if I trip on something and knock something over and it's oh, I'm dead. Great. Just because of that. At least with The Mist, there's a little bit of forgiveness for fucking up. You could escape relatively easier than you could those fucking monsters. Because it's okay. If they were if they weren't so ridiculous, those monsters in A Quiet Place.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's they can run 70 miles an hour and they're covered in armor and they'll just slash you or bite your head off or whatever the hell they're going to do to you. There's no getting away. Once it's locked on, it's just a matter of time. But at least with The Mist, there's some horrifying creatures in there, those acid flinging spiders.
Yeah.
It's terror, nightmare scenario. Not denying that. But at least you could duck out of the way and maybe get out of wherever they are.
Yeah.
And live for another couple of minutes. But with those Quiet Place monsters, a little too overpowered for me to ever be I'll take them on. I probably got this. What about you?
I honestly went with A Quiet Place. I was I'd rather just shut up and just be quiet and careful. Whereas I'm not going to outrun anything. So if I have a chance to just get by with being quiet, then I would rather just do that.
I mean, I get that. But I mean, based on what they show us in the movie, it seems the monsters have to go can only go where the mist is, it seems, because of the way that they kind of stay out of the store. They don't just bust in once one of the flying ones busts through the window.
Yeah.
Because they're locked off. Because then the place with the spiders is the pharmacy and their door was propped open. So they got infested. But the supermarket never did. So it's I guess it depends when and where you're plopping me in this timeline.
Yeah.
If I'm there to start a plan right off the bat, if it's here it comes, I think I really would prefer The Mist because there's a way to just keep them from getting into you.
Yeah.
If you can sort of set it up. Obviously, nobody in that world had that foreknowledge of what to do, so they just kind of got lucky. They sort of explain what the Quiet Place monsters that it took over and but people were sort of warned ahead of time. There are newspapers about it.
Yeah.
They were able to print stuff and warn people.
Yeah,
so in that
it
case
spread.
Yeah, so in that case you do sort of get a bit of a head start.
Yeah.
I guess we need to set the ground rules as to how this is happening. Am I starting in The Mist and I don't know it and it just happens? And then also same thing for Quiet Place where it's you sort of know ahead of time.
Yeah.
But
there's only so much you can do.
Right.
There's no outrunning it, but you can prepare.
Right. So, I mean, man, even in that case, I could not handle not making any sort of noise for any reason anymore. I think I would just have to take The Mist. It's well, fuck, if Thomas Jane can barely make it through this, or John Krasinski, then
didn't even.
He
sacrifices himself.
Well, okay.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I'll put it this way: he could have made it out himself.
He could have.
It just blows my mind that the conflict of the whole end of that movie is based around the baby, like them having the baby. Because it's such a it was such a stupid concept. Like as much as I liked the movie and enjoyed, you know, how it was done, it still just rattles around in the back of my brain the whole movie of like, why the fuck would you have another baby?
Yeah.
In this fucking scenario of all scenarios.
Unless she was pregnant.
She wasn't. The kid died and it was like 300 days later.
Oh, right.
Because it was like he died on like day 27 and then it comes back and it's like day 400 or something like that. So it's like it was well over a year. So it's like she got pregnant after that kid died.
Yeah.
Like unforgivable.
So I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Would you rather deal with zombies from Dawn of the Dead?
New Dawn of the Dead?
New Dawn of the Dead.
The fast, runny zombies?
Yes, New Dawn of the Dead.
Uh-huh.
Or 28 Days Later.
Oof, what's the difference? Seriously, though, they both fucking just come screaming at you. I don't really know what the difference really is. Other than the fact that you could, I mean, I honestly, since they're so similar, I would have to say the 28 Days Later ones, because they're just people with a terrible virus, so you could kill them in other ways. You don't have to shoot them in the head or destroy the brain or any of that zombie rule nonsense. You could just shoot them in the chest several times. Like there's other ways to off them. So I think I would, of the two, I'd have to choose that just to give myself a fighting chance.
That was essentially my thought too.
Yeah, because it's like if you're talking like fast zombie versus slow zombie.
I couldn't think of any zombie movies I had seen that I knew you had also seen. That they were slow.
It's just funny because Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, the original?
Yes, they're
okay.
They've updated everything for the remake.
Gotcha.
So in the original one, they're the sort of slow, shuffling, swarming zombies.
They're more Walking Dead-esque.
Exactly. They're Walking Dead is essentially used as the like traditional zombie trope.
Okay.
Like slow moving, shuffling, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And in those cases, sort of same kind of like hard line in the sand for me, where it's like, okay, then so fast zombies versus slow zombies, you know, since you have to shoot both of them in the head,
right?
Or like that's the only way to kill either one of them. Then take the slow ones,
so
you're not chased down like a fucking animal
before you can shoot them in the head.
Exactly. Like there's always those arguments from people who are like, well, you know, in the slow ones, they'll sneak up on you. Like you won't know that they're coming, or, you know, all of a sudden there'll be a whole bunch of them. And then what are you going to do? And it's like, yeah, but what are you going to do when fucking just one of them runs at you and like corners you in a hallway? It's like, well, there it is.
Yep. I'm done.
It's good while it lasted, I guess. You know, it's like they're just inherently more dangerous. I don't know why there would ever be an argument against it. It's silly. So it's like, yeah, in all cases, stay away from headshot fast zombies. Those are the worst. Those are the worst ones.
Would you rather have Michael Myers chasing you or Freddy Krueger?
That's such a hard one because like with Myers, you know, it's the real world. And, you know, your entire life is kind of thrown into chaos by it, you know, where it's like, yeah, with Freddy Krueger, it's only while you sleep. And it's like, yeah, okay, you need to sleep. So it's not like something you just be like, oh, I'll just not do that anymore.
Yeah.
So that, you know, it's definitely difficult and all. But with Michael Myers, it's like if he's coming after you in your waking hours, terrified. In the, you know, moments you get to sleep, if you can, because of how terrified you are, like you're just leaving yourself vulnerable.
Yeah.
So I figure every morning that you wake up, if Michael Myers is coming after you, you're just like immediately on edge as soon as you're awake. If, you know, he's not already in the room stabbing you to death, you know, like, so at least with Freddy Krueger, it's like you could maybe try to plot or something during your normal waking hours and your life is relatively normal, where it's like you don't have to be like on the run or like stocking up on guns or anything crazy like that, or building a stronghold, you know, to keep him at bay. At least you could sit and watch like TV.
Yeah. As long as you don't doze off.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be real stimulating. But I mean, in the end, again, it's just a case of how do you want to be murdered? Because you know you're not going to stop Freddy Krueger or Michael Myers. Um, it still does kind of depend on which sort of era you're coming from with Michael Myers. Because with Freddy Krueger, he's pretty much the same all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
He's a dream demon, comes at you while you're sleeping.
Right.
The only difference is like how many jokes is he going to crack before he murders you? But with Michael Myers, you know, it's like in the original one, he's supposed to just be a guy.
Right.
And even into the second one, it's implied like the movie tries to do it. The next movie retcons it, but they try to like kill him with a big explosion.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay,
Yeah.
exploded, he's dead. Explosions kill him.
Right.
And then it comes back in the next one, and it's like, well, it didn't totally kill him. It just burned him a lot. And then he gets shot down a fucking mine. It gets like shot 1 billion times and falls into a mine shaft. And it's like, oh, okay, there, now he's totally dead. And then the next movie, it's like, well, actually, he survived that, and a hermit found him. And then he woke up a year later. And then at the end of that one, he gets taken away. And then at the end of the sixth one, he gets pumped full of some weird liquid or something, but then you don't know what happens to him. And then he shows up in Halloween H2O, which apparently isn't related at all to 6, 5, or 4. And they've skipped him over. So it's like, okay, in those ones, he seems totally unstoppable. In the first 2 and H2O, it seems like he's just a normal man, but he's kind of really strong.
Yeah.
But at least you could probably kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems that way in the new one, too, the Halloween 2018, like, you know, she shoots his fingers off and he's like, whoa, like he doesn't scream, but he clearly like holds his hand out like, fuck, this hurts.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, he can feel pain and he can be injured. He just has not been killed yet. So it's like, maybe he could be killed. I don't know. I don't really know how the end in Nightmare on Elm Street, like the series goes, if he gets like destroyed or anything, but it's like, he seems to never really get destroyed either.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's why there's so many.
Yeah. So I guess I'd have to go with Freddy Krueger for the sake of being able to somewhat live my life.
Okay.
And maybe he'll crack a joke before he murders me because you know Mike's not doing that.
Right.
He's not gonna say shit.
Yeah.
So at least maybe I'll get a little entertainment. Like, oh man, that was a good one. Yeah. Exactly.
I would go with Michael Myers for the sake of being able to get help.
Okay.
Because
it's like making him someone else's problem.
Well,
the
no.
cops rescue you, and then the cops go in to get him, and then you run away, and then he murders all the cops, and while he's doing that, you scurry away.
That is one possible scenario. I was thinking more in like, I have friends and know people that will like help. Like if he's coming specifically for me, like obviously he's going to kill anyone that gets in his way.
Right.
But there's enough people to like keep watch. Like then at least you can take turns sleeping.
Uh-huh.
You know, if everyone else, you can sleep comfortably knowing that like the house is being watched.
I mean,
ring doorbell.
There's lots of times in those series where they think that they have the house watched and they do not. The fourth one, literally, they put the kids that are being chased into a house and guard it with cops, and all the cops get murdered, and then everyone dies. Like it's just even the drunken posse can't save them. A drunken posse of town people who are mad that their bar is closed. Which is the best subplot of a horror movie ever. Literally, they get a call, or they're watching the news, and it's like, oh, the mayor of Haddonfield has said that all businesses should close now and everyone go home because Michael Myers is back.
Yeah.
They don't say that out loud, I don't think. But they just mention, like, oh, there's a curfew now.
Yeah. And everyone knows.
Yeah. And fucking all the dudes at the bar, like the old barfly guys, are like, this is fucking bullshit. We're getting an answer for this. We're driving right down to that police station. And fucking that's what they do. Like, and then the cops all get murdered at the police station by Michael Myers.
Of course.
And then the drunken posse is like, they become the cops for the town. They're like, looks like you don't have any other cops there, sheriff. And he's like, oh fuck, I guess you're right. So like they're helping out and everything. Oh my god, it's hysterical.
Oh.
But yeah, not even the drunken posse can keep Michael Myers from getting who he wants to get to. So
Okay, so if we use Michael Myers from the first Halloween and then Freddy Krueger from the first Nightmare, like,
so all we need is Donald Pleasance with a gun to shoot him out the window, and then the movie kind of ends. He might be dead.
I mean,
That's the big thing. If you're using the first movie, it's like, okay, so do 6 shots kill him or not?
I mean, just make sure you have like 8 shots and
Just keep
go
doing
with
it.
the take turns plan, because
Every night, shoot 6 shots into him off the balcony
you know what?
until he gets tired of it.
Eventually he'll either get frustrated and stop, or maybe dead. Maybe someone actually finds the one spot in him that kills him.
So you're basically banking on you have a little more optimism in your plan of like, maybe there's a way to kill him.
Yeah.
And in mine, I'm like, there's no way to kill either of them.
Yeah.
So I'll take the most.
I will totally
death.
agree that I don't think there's any way to kill Freddy Krueger. Like, I don't even know how that would, like, do you dream that you have an Uzi or something?
I mean,
like,
at the end of the first movie, she pulls him from the dream world into the real world, and they like try to kill him, and they think they kill him, but then at the very end of the movie, it's like, nope. So sort of same thing with Michael Myers, where it's like, oh, you think you got him, and it's like, well, doesn't seem like it. So in the end, it's just a series of false hope, you know.
I think I'd rather try fighting it out in the real world than fighting it out in my dreams.
Yeah, I've always had trouble with like lucid dreaming and stuff. I'd probably fuck it up somehow.
Yeah, exactly. I'm dead. Night 1. There's no waking up or coming back from that. Like, there's dream me is like, oh yeah, this is totally cool.
I will absolutely climb into this lawnmower. This gigantic lawnmower. I see no problem here.
Looks fun.
Yeah, this red and green striped lawnmower. Seems like a good time. Okay, I guess I was trying to find better pairs for these two, but I guess I'll just pit them against each other.
Okay.
And see what happens. See if one prevails over the other.
Okay.
Okay. Well, okay. There's a tiny bit of a connecting tissue to it, so I guess I'll phrase it that way. Would you rather be drugged by the crazy people from Midsummer or Howard Howe from Tusk?
Midsummer. At least they might take me dancing. Like I'm fair skinned and have lightish brown hair. Like, I could fit in with the Swedes.
There's a possibility of sort of winning.
Yeah.
As opposed to just being turned into a walrus.
Yeah. I don't want to be a walrus.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure that fucking Simon didn't want to be blood eagled either.
I mean, just play along. Like, if you play along with
you know that? That's the whole thing behind these games. Because, like, you know, if you're going to Howard Howe's house, if you know about him ahead of time, if you know that he's going to turn you into a walrus, obviously you're not going to drink anything and you're going to turn around and leave. Same thing with Midsummer. If you know what's going to happen, you wouldn't even go.
I mean, right. But in both scenarios, learning about them, like, just like, if you wind up at Howard Howe's house, like, if he's decided that you're his next walrus,
yeah,
that's it. You're his next walrus.
Okay.
If you wind up, in the village, then as long as you follow the rules, then you have a chance of getting out okay.
If you're going there,
yeah,
there's like a 50% chance that you're going to wind up sacrificed anyway, regardless of what you think you're doing.
Okay.
Or what they think you're doing.
Or you 100% get turned into a walrus.
A living walrus.
I would rather be dead. Like, if that ever happens, just put me out of my misery.
You don't want to be put in a little zoo?
I don't like raw fish that much. Like, it's no.
You learn.
No.
You learn.
No. I like having a tongue.
I mean, I'll put it this way, though. If it doesn't necessarily completely turn out exactly the same way, you have Midsummer, where no one will ever come looking for you because nobody knows where these people are.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have Guy Lapointe on the case.
But he didn't get there in time.
Right, but he could.
I don't trust Guy Lapointe to get there in time. He's good and all, but he's not great. Like,
I mean, I'm doing all this arguing for it, but I would choose the Midsummer tribe or cult as well.
yeah.
Simply because, again, if you're going to die anyway, might as well get crazy stoned.
Yeah, because that
So-
looked like some decent shit that they were taking.
I mean, I don't even know what half the stuff they were taking was. So
Some
yeah.
of it was mushrooms of some sort.
And then other stuff was just
Tea
just
and
liquid
weed.
that it's like, okay, who knows what's in
Yeah.
there? And then you get dust blown in your face and then all sorts of crazy shit. So it's like, at least you got that.
Yeah,
So I would agree.
at least going out with a party.
Hmm. I was trying to find an analog to like Hereditary in terms of like ghost haunting or demon possession or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, they really all just wind up the same, even
Yeah.
if the movies are different. Where it's like, if you go like, oh, would you rather have the demon possession of Hereditary versus the demon possession of Paranormal Activity? It's like, what's the fucking difference really in the end
Yeah,
in terms of the horrible shit you go through and then die?
yeah,
It's like when it comes down to it, it's like obviously one of them is the better movie, but the end results really wind up being the same. Is it some terrible unseen force
yeah.
like finds its way into your life and destroys it? So it's like, yeah, that one was a little more on the nose, or pretty obvious.
Yep.
Like, doesn't matter.
It's even that Ethan Hawke in Sinister.
Uh-huh.
He can't escape it.
I mean, he could. He just failed to pick up on
Yeah.
the pattern in a way. I mean,
Yeah.
well, I mean,
Just live there and deal with it.
exactly. I guess you just have to live there forever.
Yeah.
And be haunted. Everything else, there's really no other way. But with Sinister, you could, in theory,
Yeah, if you figure it
if
out.
you could just deal with it, because it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like Bagul could kill you,
Yeah, because he gets
or
the
at
kids
least
to
will.
do it.
Exactly. Or at the very least, he won't.
Yeah.
Like out of, I don't know.
Tradition.
Yeah. Like at the
That's
very
not
least,
how
he'll
we
just
do things in the ghoul world.
yeah, because he just like spooks them
Mhm.
a bunch through all the like
Spooked ya.
videos. And, yeah, gotcha. Spooked you. Yeah, that one would probably be of all the demon possession, or even like Conjuring
Mhm.
or Insidious, where it's like kind of you're kind of bridging that gap between haunting and possession.
Right.
Where it's like it's almost the same thing
Yeah.
in the end. Yeah, Sinister seems like it would be the only one you could do anything about, really.
So I guess any other horror movie versus Sinister, you choose Sinister.
I mean,
As
I'm
far
trying
as
to
like
think
being
of,
plopped into the house.
yeah, I guess just because I'm trying to think of like how things get defeated
Mm-hmm.
and which one is the easiest. And I think Sinister is the easiest
Yeah.
because it's like,
You just deal with it until you pass away in the house.
yeah, it's like you just have to live there. I mean, I guess you do have to live there. I doubt Bagul would get fooled if you like rented it out and lived somewhere else.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be like, hey, wait a minute, but this deed's still in your name.
I guess that, I mean, it never really needed to come up in the movie. If like the kids moved away from home,
Yeah, I
would
mean, yeah, you
Bagul
could
follow one of the kids like when they went to college, or would he stay in the home with the parents?
Uh-huh. Or what if you just, and obviously it would be like, there'd be no way to explain this to like authorities, but it's like the whole thing is that, you live in the house that the previous family died in.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you move, once you're in the next house, that's when like that's when it takes effect.
Right.
And Bagul makes the little kid or just the child of the house
Mm-hmm.
kill the rest of the family.
Right.
So in that case, and again, like I said, it would be frowned upon by a lot of people. But imagine if you like moved from the house and you're like, all right, kids, you're gonna go live with your aunt and uncle, or anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so do they just kill whoever they're living with, or am I, as the homeowner, the one who Bagul is targeting?
Yeah.
Will the kids, if I send them all the way across the country, will they find their way back to murder me? Like, I would take that risk of sending the kid like across the country and moving to a better place so I can stop being haunted, and on the off chance that it's like, maybe I found the loophole.
Also,
Because the reason it works is because nobody knows about it.
right.
Or at least nobody figures it out in time.
Right.
If that deputy had called, a few days earlier, if he had figured it out a few days earlier and called them before they kind of finalized everything or whatever,
Yeah.
then there's a possibility that he could have just been like, oh shit, okay, then we're just going to stay put until we figure something out. And that could have been one of the things.
Yeah. Also, another loophole, be a child-free family that lives in there.
I did wonder about that, of like, if they didn't have kids, what would Buggle do?
Yeah.
Would he like make your dog eat you?
If you
And then
move.
the dog joins the ghost kids who wander around the house. Now the kids have a dog.
Buggle's just waiting for that family to
Yeah,
move
he's
in.
like, oh my god, I want a dog so bad. It's the only way I can get a dog. I've got all these stupid, worthless kids. No dogs.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's like something that, I mean, obviously we no idea how much thought the people who wrote it actually put into it.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to wonder if maybe like in between those families moving in, if there was ever a childless couple that like moved in, got haunted, and was like, fuck this place, and left and never dealt with any repercussions.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have kids to murder them.
Yeah,
So
Buggle was just waiting.
yeah, he was like,
He just cycles
fine.
through these child-free families.
Yeah, he's like, fine, get out. I'm going to spook you real hard. You're going to leave, and we're going to get this fucking show on the road. I wonder what he's building, like a Pee-wee hockey team? I don't know why he wants all these kids. I don't remember if there's an explanation for why he wants an army of ghost children.
There probably is some sort of explanation somewhere, but I don't remember what it is. So, Us or Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
God, I don't even know. I'm trying to think of like the ramifications of both.
Yeah.
Like, okay, body snatchers, bodies getting snatched.
Yeah.
People that you think are not those people anymore.
Right.
And
But it's not always easy to tell.
right. Versus everyone's very clear to see doppelgangers showing up. Because if they're wearing the jumpsuits and they're wearing the gloves and all that kind of stuff, then they're pretty easy to spot.
Right.
So once you know what's up, you can kind of be on the lookout. Unless they start changing clothes, and then shit's gonna get fucking crazy.
Yeah. Like the guy that was wearing the jacket.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I would have to go with Us just for that matter.
Yeah.
Of being able to sort of see, and since it really seemed like Red was the only one who could really speak, then that also gives you a clue.
Yeah.
Where it's literally just like, if you run across someone on the street, and even if they're not wearing the clothes or anything, you just be like, say a fucking word to me or I will shoot you.
Yeah.
Like there's ways to sort of get it done, and hopefully you wouldn't be like swarmed or attacked, because that's the fear in Invasion of the Body Snatchers. If you go out into like, the middle of town and you're looking around and you're not sure who to trust, and then it turns out that there's no one to trust, then you are done.
Yeah.
You know
exactly.
what I mean? Like, you are gone. You are snatched. It's over. So at least with Us, it's sort of like there's an enemy that you can see.
It's a very like defined.
Yeah. Even though it would be horrifying in its own way.
Right.
Of like, especially the horrible sort of like mind bendingness if you run into like the doppelganger of someone
Yeah.
and you have to like kill them or something. And then it's like, oh fuck, this is all sorts of fucking crazy. But I mean, you kind of would have to deal with that same shit body snatching anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
And at least in the world of Us, your friend might still be alive.
Yeah.
Because isn't that implied in body snatchers? Like, once your body's been snatched,
like that's
you're
it.
done.
Yeah.
But there's one that looks like you that's out there.
Right.
So in that case, if you find your body snatched friend and you have to kill them, it's like you have to actually kill them. But at least with the doppelganger, it's like, I know you're not actually Kyle.
Yeah.
And you could murder someone. You could murder it without feeling too much guilt.
Right.
Or at least like, defend yourself and not get that weird mixed up feeling of like, oh God, you can just go at it.
Yeah.
I
Know that this
guess.
is just an enemy. There's no friend or acquaintance or anything actually behind that being.
Exactly. I guess I think about it in terms of like, which is worse if you lose? Because with Us, I mean, they're going to kill you.
Yeah.
Probably horribly.
Probably. Seemingly.
Yeah. But with the body snatching, Is the snatching painful?
I don't know.
Like, is it painful? Do you notice that it's happening?
Does it just happen in your sleep?
Exactly.
Like,
I mean, that's what I feel like. That's what I feel like it is. It's like you like go to sleep and it like, takes over, and
yeah.
then you're gone. So it's
Unless
like
you're attacked by body
unless
snatched.
the snatched. um, I guess I would go with. It's tough because now you're weighing both sides.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, it's easier to survive in the world of us because you can kind of see your enemy, but it's worse to die in the world of us, where they will probably take out their horrible frustrations on you, and all the things that you made them do, allegedly, apparently. Still have to see it again and kind of get a handle on exactly what was going on with that. But with the body snatching, it's like the world itself is scarier and the enemy is scarier because it's like, oh God. But if they get you, you kind of don't even notice. So bad. Yeah, it's like you might not even notice it happening. You're just gone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess.
Also, if you're like a really good actor and really good at pretending to not have any emotion and like not show any emotion, you can get around.
Yeah. I mean, we don't really see it in the movie because it's kind of just centered on the family. But in terms of us, like, especially by that point, but by the time the movie ends, where it has become daytime again, there's been a night of this happening. There's news reports talking about it. So it's like, it's a big thing.
Yeah.
There's probably better resistance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you could at least, even if you were stuck out somewhere where it's like National Guard's not going to make it, at least there could be like a town or, even just a building full of like-minded people who are like, let's stick together and not get murdered by these psychos.
Yeah.
And we'll try to take them down or at least escape or find safer ground. But with body snatchers, just based on the concept itself, it makes it really hard to team up with anyone.
Yeah. It's like, how long can you trust them?
Yeah. And just like you could trust them one moment and then have your back turned, or, do something, come back to someone later. Yeah. And now you really can't trust him, but you don't know that, it's like, it makes it a lot harder to get a group of people together to kind of fight back. I feel like the world itself has a better chance of surviving in the world of us.
Yes.
In Body Snatchers, it might not matter how long you survive. Yeah. The world might be gone by that point. Yeah. So it's like, fuck. So you really got to look at it long term and short term. Like if you don't think you're going to make it in either of the scenarios, I would choose Body Snatchers so that it's quick and easy and painless, hopefully. Yeah. But if it's like, if you're able to hang around till this all shakes out one way or the other, one side wins, one side loses, there's a better chance of the world being normal after us than there.
At least somewhat normal.
Yeah, than I think there is with Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I think the Snatched are just too powerful. Like, and they clearly are taking over. Like it's not, it's not an isolated thing. Yeah. My pessimism wants me to go with Snatchers, to just be like, if you're gonna do it, just do it nice and easy. Yeah. But in the hopes of like one day not being under an oppressive regime of monsters, us is the better choice. I guess I have to go with us.
I'm in the same boat. The Snatched are definitely just a much more difficult enemy. Like, yeah, they're just regular people essentially, so I'm sure they can be killed relatively easily. Right. Just like a normal person could be.
I mean,
but it also seems like that's the same situation for us.
Yeah, it seemed like that way. Like, I was trying to think of it like, do they seem like super powerful or super strong? And it's like, not necessarily. They just get the drop on everybody.
Yeah, I think it would be, because again, like, you can get help.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to get help in the world of us and survive long enough to
essentially, if you
make it.
Yeah, if you make it through the like first day before everyone knows what's going on, like if you can make it through just that horrifying first night, where everyone's like, what the fuck is even happening? When once you figure it out, hopefully you'd be able to sort of defend against it. But with Body Snatchers, it's like, the whole sort of thing is that it's like it's not happening. Like nobody
Yeah.
really knows it's happening because
Mm-hmm.
it's taking anyone who knows, and you know all that sort of stuff. So it is a lot more difficult to kind of discern
Yeah.
what your next step is going to be
Yeah.
in the Body Snatchers universe.
Yeah. It essentially boils down to spend eternity trying to evade or elude the snatched, or survive 24 hours in us.
Yeah.
Until everything's like figured out and a game plan happens. And then you just follow the game plan that whoever creates.
Yeah. Leave it up to someone else. Because, you know, the whole Body Snatchers thing, even like the remake and stuff like that, it's like it's sort of over a short period of time that it takes place, and it ends before, you know, it doesn't ever show you like 5 years in the future, or, you know, anything beyond just that sort of, you know, attempt at invasion.
Right.
So you really think about it, and especially the way that you're talking about, the way that you mentioned, like, you know, if you're really good at acting, you could maybe just get away with it. Like, but then you got to live your normal life.
Yeah.
And without emotion and never knowing who to trust.
Yeah.
Because, like, it doesn't just, like, wouldn't the rest of the world wouldn't it just keep going as it normally is, even with the body snatched? Like, isn't that the whole point? Is that they're sort of silently infiltrating so you don't know it's happening?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so the pizza delivery guy could be body snatched.
Yeah.
You know, and so you have to live your every waking hour like that. And it's like you still have to go to work because you still have to pay bills because you still got, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like the world is
everything is still running.
Yeah, the world is still exactly the same. It's just 1,000 times more stressful. And at least in us, it's like, okay, everything's going fuck nuts crazy and everyone knows it. So at least we're all on the same page here. You know, at least we understand that it's like, if I don't show up to work for a couple weeks because of this, maybe they understand. They're probably not there either. You know, shit's going crazy everywhere.
Unless that's where they're hiding out.
Yeah. So it's like, in that case, you at least don't have to worry about everyday problems.
Yeah.
It's like, I could not imagine having like a shitty day at work and not being able to express it out of the fear that like everyone is a fucking monster who's going to attack me for it.
Yeah.
Like that would
you
be
would
way too
absolutely
much.
need a soundproof something, like soundproof room somewhere where you could go and like scream and cry and laugh
show
and just
any emotion at all.
Yes.
Oh my God. Like you couldn't, I mean, because what level of emotion is it really? Like how bad is it? Like if you walked up to someone and was like, "Oh my, I just heard this song. It's so awesome." Is that too much? It's like he's so excited about that song.
Yeah.
Like, oh fuck, no, it's just a really good song. I'm sorry.
I don't remember in the original the woman like reacting to like a kid or a cat or a dog. I don't remember, some small mammal. Like almost getting hit by a car. Like she reacted.
That's enough.
That was enough.
Yeah, so you could literally like just like see like a billboard for a movie that you're excited about and be like, oh, and they'd be like, get him.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck. Come on. It you know, the more I think about it, the more it just sort of falls apart at some point. Like at some point the invasion has to like stop normal life on Earth.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like there's no way that you'd be able to like entertainment industries could never keep going.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's like that whole, you know, like making like movies and TV shows and music and all that stuff is all based on enthusiasm and emotion. So it's like if you went into a recording studio to like make an album and the producer was not body snatched, but like one of the assistants or, you know, all the assistants were, or the band was, it's like they wouldn't even go to record if the band was body snatched.
Yeah.
And the producer wouldn't be there recording them if he was body snatched. So it's like eventually everything's going to fall apart.
I mean,
so at that point, will it then be easier to make a resistance against it, or is it still just too dangerous to ever trust anybody because they all just look like normal people?
I mean, I guess it is solely based off of like showing emotion. You could have, you know, a test to see if someone is body snatched.
Right, but what I'm getting at is that it's like that example I gave where it's like you walk into the middle of town and you show a bit of emotion and everyone in town is body snatched. It's like it would never get to that point because people would stop like the body snatched people would stop doing certain things, because they're not going to feel that emotion or anything. You know what I mean? Like they'd never go to like a sports bar to watch a sport.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean? It's like, so that's gone. You wouldn't have people going to bars. It's like, would these people just live their normal lives as body snatched? Or is the whole point to just like get everyone and then all the body snatchers together are like, all right, did we get everyone? Okay, cool. Now we're in charge. Let's do what we want.
Yeah. Or that's when they leave to find another planet of beings to body snatch. I don't know how they work. If it's human specific.
I mean, I don't even understand what their end game is. Like, obviously, I understand like the
destroy
movie.
all humans.
Right. It's like I understand the movie and it's like Red Scare commentary on the world in the 50s and that kind of stuff. It's like I get that, but when you really boil down, like, what do these snatchers want other than to snatch?
Yeah.
And I don't know if there is anything. I'd have to watch it again. I'd have to like
it's
really look into it because it's like it just seems like the whole thing is like, yeah, we're just here and then we snatch you. And it's like, why? It's like, because fucking we love snatching. What?
It's our thing.
Yeah, that's what we do. We're called body snatchers, dipshit.
You got a body, we're gonna snatch it.
Boom. All right, I think that's gonna finish it up for this episode of Popcorn for Dinner. This is Jeff
and Kelly.
Don't get snatched.